Hi there. You need to unmute.
All right.
There you go. I'm a little early. You're a little early. I was going to just work while. How's it going up there, Michelle?
Oh, it is just those amazing times we're in. And look here, we have a dojo.
Nice.
Yeah. So we got a folding mat there.
Yeah.
We've got our cause calligraphy that is wellspring swords.
That's gorgeous.
Got Ano Sensei, Takemusu Aikido here, a little altar.
Yeah.
My dragon for dragon dancing. And then, so we're doing Zoom classes. It's so awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Oh,
that's a real highlight.
That's awesome. Yeah. Are the kids enjoying it?
Yeah.
Right.
And so on Thursday, we're going to do some staff work with the kids.
Okay.
And, they're all at home. So they're making their own staffs out of broomsticks or whatever, bamboo. So it's kind of a fun home project too.
Yeah. Yeah.
To come up with their own staffs.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, your spirits seem good.
Today's been a great day. It's been a great day. I woke up, it was a very dear friend of mine, Bucky. It's her birthday.
Oh.
And she's a bright being, and I just kind of rode her energy, got her flowers and presents and food, and was able to deliver them to her.
Oh, nice.
And keep physical distance, but we hadn't seen each other in at least a couple months, so it just totally lifted my spirits to
be. That's great.
Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you. How are you, Kimberly, today, right now?
Yeah, hungry because it's a fast day. Here, I'll have another almond.
Oh, good.
I do reduce food once a week.
Oh, yeah.
That's a thing.
That's a good thing.
A number of reasons.
Okay.
But yeah, pretty good. Today's pretty good. My sun is out. That's beautiful. Yeah, working on stuff. Have my head down, so it'll be nice to get out a little bit.
And you're in the hospital.
Yeah, on and off. In fact, today I just set up a new position, so I'll be doing spiritual care on call. So that's good. Really good, because the OT is considered non-essential, so we don't see. So what's happening to this hospital and a lot of hospitals is they're trying to get patients in and out, just throughput, and so we have a very, very low census, and that's a patient population. So we don't have any elective surgeries, and people aren't coming to the hospital, and when they do come, we get them out as soon as possible. Mm-hmm. So that's all in preparation for a surge, right, which is pretty inevitable, we think. So that's the preparation for that. And so there are a lot of people, that's what, I don't know if you've heard about the healthcare workers being furloughed, and that's what it refers to. Okay. So I've been, I work there per diem anyway. So I've been, have even fewer hours, and then signed up for the labor pool. They came up with this job, which is right up my alley. So I'll be doing both. Like, I'll go into the hospital for OT work tomorrow. I've got to turn that message system off.
That's your bell. Okay.
That's my bell. But of course, we won't be hearing it. So I'll go in there to do OT tomorrow, and then I'll be on call. And yeah, I'm just trying to contribute in a lot of different ways. And yeah, some of it's actually kind of frustrating, but the healthcare industry it's a very, it's a behemoth, and does not know how to move well at the best of times. So right. This has been, I think, really challenging. and frustrating to kind of watch.
Yeah.
Like,
Oof. Oof.
so yeah.
Well, thanks.
What else are you guys doing up there? So you're doing Aikido. Is David, did you have a dojo where you were, or?
We teach in a Grange. So we
Okay.
use folding mats and do classes just once a week. So it's fantastic. We don't have the overhead of a dojo. And then, so I do that, and then I'm on Social Security. So I get income that way. David continues to do his bookkeeping. He has an office in another part of the house.
Righto.
And then I do a lot of volunteer work, serving the community,
nice.
Which is my passion. And then other self-care things, gardening, bike riding. Here's Wendy. Hi.
Hey, Wendy.
So it's a good life.
Still on mute, I think. It's a good life. Right on.
It's a very good life, and we just welcome you to come visit us when you're ever up this way. We're right. Grants Pass is right on I-5.
That's right. Yeah, I've driven by it.
Yeah, so we're here.
Right on.
We'd love to see you.
Yeah. That's a nice offer.
Yeah.
I'm my world is a little crazy because I go to the Netherlands as well. So yeah. And yeah, I can't imagine going anywhere right now, actually. It's like, what? Go somewhere?
It must be a little tough.
That's an option. Hi.
Hi, with you and Karen being separated. Is that a little tough?
Yeah.
Is she over there right now?
No, she's not. And I'm so glad she's not here. It's very good that she is in her home with her people. Yeah. And this home is very small, so it would be torture.
So where is her home?
In Utrecht in the Netherlands.
Oh, in the Netherlands, yeah.
Yep. Who else is here?
I see a gi.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a face. Hi.
Trying to organize so you can see O Sensei and me.
Right on.
When
Yes.
I'm bowing in. Does that kind of work?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a little far, but it's good.
But
it's
then
perfect.
If I go closer, you don't get.
Actually, when you come forward, your head is here, but we could see more of your body if you just tilted it a little bit. Right now, we're seeing
That's nice.
At that place where your head isn't cut off. If you walk forward from there, your head gets cut off, but now we see more body.
But I had to walk forward to adjust the thing, so.
Yeah, so if you do this, whatever. What I do is I just move my screen.
Yeah, but I can't reach my screen from here.
You look great.
No, right where you are now is perfect.
Okay.
Because we're seeing you even to below your knees.
You can see O Sensei for the bow in, and you can still see the movement.
Yes. We can see more movement here.
That's right. Here you just get to see me and my face and whatever, but you don't get to see the movement, which would be here. All right, so.
Mark. How nice to see you.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, I got a nice email invitation, so I thought I'd show up.
Are you doing any of these?
I'm not teaching any, but I've been doing Zoom classes every day.
Yeah.
Linda Holliday Sensei is teaching a ton of them, and Michael Friedel and Jim Alvarez is teaching, and there's a lot of people. So
yeah.
I'm actually training every day, which I wasn't doing before this entire thing started. Yeah.
It's exciting. Yeah, oddly, I don't have a lot of time right now, but if I did, yeah, that's great. I'll write those down, actually. I don't need to write them down. I'll remember. Nice to see you. Hi to Mary.
Yeah, she's doing a different class. Yeah, and Linda Sensei's classes are open to everyone. So
yeah, I've joined. I joined last Thursday. So that was nice. Yeah.
Right. and she's doing. Are we starting? I don't want, Sensei. I don't want to interrupt
No.
your.
We're not starting yet. We have another 4 or 5 minutes, and Greg will come on, and he's going to host it. So he'll mute and unmute and organize that. So I'm just hanging out. So let's enjoy a little conversation.
Yeah. So Linda Sensei is doing Shinko Q Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m.
Yep. Yep.
So
Nice.
you know, if anybody's again, and her classes are open to everyone. So all you need to do is contact the dojo and get on the mailing list, and you're free to join up. So
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, I've been knowing that, but I should pass that on to the dojo as well, which I haven't done. So thanks for a reminder. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, Aikido Santa Cruz is CAA, and you know, Aikido Tamalpais is ASU. Is that correct?
No,
I don't know what we are anymore.
no, we're not. We're Shimbobukai. The same,
okay.
Same affiliation as Aikido Sensei. We went with Aikido Sensei.
Okay. So, but I mean, you know, this is sort of another opportunity to do a variation on bridge seminars and friendship trainings. You know.
Oh yeah, it's a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, anyway, there we are.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Ula's gonna join. That's nice.
Kimberly, I was thinking, you know, any other class, if we were on the mat together, I'd come over and we'd talk and fold our hakamas together, but that's not happening.
I know.
Hi, Greg.
Greg, Mr. Host, how are you?
Good. It's good to see everybody here.
Trying to organize myself, people helping me so you can see me, the little sensei in the background to bow in, and yet to see some of the movements of the body. So that's the best I can do with my little home computer.
Mark, I like your
I can't
dojo.
tell. Is it time? We have 2 more minutes. So let's wait and see if a few more people join. We did the leadership embodiment one. We had like 45 people on it. I was
Awesome.
Yeah. People from Asia joined. It was crazy.
Wow, that's neat.
Yeah.
Got Peter on here. It's good to see. Peter, we should just go over to the dojo and wear masks and scrub the mat just for the fun of it.
For old time's sake, yeah.
Yeah, just to feel productive. This is my 5th Zoom call today, and I had one this morning. I had one this morning that had over 2,000 people on it. It's crazy.
Wow.
Well,
It's not interactive. It's just somebody, you know, it's different panels and different people.
yeah, we just had to up our Zoom thing for the leadership embodiment because there was a few hundred people who wanted to join on that. So it was like we had to buy a whole new level of Zoom to accommodate that, over 100.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, we're very global, but normally we're isolated into little pods, but now the global people are all connected.
Hi, Susan. Hi, Delano. Hi, Peter.
Lisbeth, Ula.
Delano's here. Elizabeth's here. I'm assuming that's Dave Scott.
So it looks like it's about 6 p.m. now. So, and I think we have about 11 people. So should we go ahead and bow in?
Yes.
All right. So let's just take a moment. Sensei is here. Onegaishimasu. All right, let's start with some warm-ups and we'll just enhance them for people who are not. I'm going to narrate them a little bit just to give you a feeling. So let's dip down, bring the breath up from the earth, and then let's expand out our fingers. The long exhale. Let's do it again as we dip down, bring the energy up from the earth toward the sky, and reaching out. And again, dip down, bringing it up, reaching for the heavens, and extending out through the walls. And then let's give ourselves a little energizing pat, especially to the hara area. So let's start with that. And then if you want to move down and do your legs a little bit. And then coming up more to your torso. You can get around your back. And then our arms. Energizing those arms.
Pin video.
Chest.
I should pin that.
And it's always nice if we can energize our head a little bit, a little more lightly, maybe with the fingertips on the face and the head. And let's go back down to our hara area. And be sure we get around back and to the sides. All right. And then in the middle of all that, let's focus a point in our abdomen. And we'll work with a containment breath. So we'll inhale, gather the ki, pull it into our hara, let it build, and slow exhale. And again, collecting the ki in the hara, sense the strength as it builds there, and slow exhale. And last time, collecting the ki in the hara, sense the potential power, and slow exhale. Nice. And let's drop down into our hips and begin to turn from there. And as we do this, let's try to imagine that the ki is like light and it flows out through our arms and fingertips, touching the walls, maybe flowing through the walls. And we're expanding ki out into the room and beyond. And as we keep moving, let's invite a little more to come through us. No effort, just more of an invitation. Imagine our arms are a little bit wider, our fingers a little bigger, and the ki is flowing out through. Energizing, expanding out into the world. Nice. And let's bring that to a close and just stand for a moment and enjoy the feeling of aliveness and ki flowing through us and around us. And now let's stretch our sides a little bit as we inhale up, exhaling, stretch into the stretch. And then the other side. And again. And the other side. And now let's try going all the way around 3 times. So instead of changing at the bottom, just keep going. It's good for your balance, builds more energy. Around 1 more time. And now let's change at the bottom. Change directions. Letting it flow around us, flow out of us, and stop. Now let's stretch our low backs. So just turn as far as you can, look behind you. I see a sensei behind me. And then the other side on the exhale. And again, inhaling to center, exhaling on the stretch. Inhaling to center, exhaling on the stretch. Nice. Standing up, and let's put our hands on our hips and let's do circles with the hips. Loosen up all that area in the low back, the sides. And let's reverse and go the other way. Good, and now let's go down and do circles with our knees, warming our knees up a little bit, one direction. Let's reverse and go the other direction. And stretching the backs of the knees. And then if you're comfortable, just squatting and coming up. And again, if it's comfortable, one more squat and coming up. Nice. Let's go left Hamni and doing our Ikkyo stretch. So as we do this, see if you can let the energy from the stretch flow through your arm into your torso, all the way down into your feet. So although you're stretching your wrist, your whole body is engaged. And hold and stay with the pressure and relax under the pressure. Nice. Let's change Hamni of the wrist. And again, as we stretch the wrist, not too fast, see if you can imagine that the energy from the stretch goes through your arm, down through your torso, through your legs, into the earth. Your whole body is engaged in the stretch. And then hold, keep the pressure on, and see if you can relax your shoulders, relax your body under pressure. Nice. Changing Hamni again, let's do our Kodogai stretch. And the same, as we do this stretch, see if you can absorb the pressure through the body into the earth. So the stretch energizes your body, it absorbs it. And then hold. And let's invite ourselves to uplift, settle down, bring strength to our hips and open our hearts. Nice, let's do the other side. And the same with this Kodogai stretch, really letting it flow through the body, through the arm, torso, into the legs, into the earth. And then as we hold, softening, inhale, uplifting, exhale, settling into the earth, strengthening our hips and opening our hearts. Okay, let's change Hamni and we'll do the Nikkyo stretch. As before, letting it really flow through the whole body. So if somebody puts a strong Nikkyo on you, you can just relax with it. It can be absorbed into the earth. And then hold, soften under the pressure. And let's change Hamni and do the other side. Letting your body absorb, accept all that pressure. Not tensing against it, but softening into it. And hold. And soften. Nice. Let's change Hamni again. We'll stretch the inside of our arms 3 times. Nice exhale on the stretch. And other side, changing Hamni. And settling in. Nice, let's shake them out. And now shake them over our heads. And let them fall 3 times. And again, shaking them out. The whole body shaking, all the way through your toes, your feet, your whole body trembling. And let them fall 3 times. And now let's stretch the arms a little bit. Just making big circles with them. Nice. And shoulders. And then I like to go one shoulder at a time, backwards and then forwards too. So you're just moving your whole body with your arms. All right, let's work with our triangle shape. And we're gonna extend that triangle with our hands, bending our front knee, and imagine the leading edge is going up either to or through the far wall. And imagine behind us is Aiki spirit, and our bodies are porous like a colander. And we invite Aiki spirit to flow through us, through our arms, through our fingertips. Dropping our right hand by our right leg, and together and back, together and back, together and back, together and back. And as we continue, see if you can invite a little more Aiki energy to flow through you. You can think of it as light or liquid, sparkles, and imagine that it's coming from behind you and touching the far wall. So you're really part of a flow. It doesn't come from inside you, it comes from around you and through you. And invite a little more to come through. A little brighter, run some heaven and earth. Okay, and hold. And let's do a little moment of vertical heaven and earth. So let's take an inhale and imagine the inhale spirals up through the top of the head toward the sky. And as we exhale, it spirals down through our body into the earth. And again, inhaling, connecting heaven. Exhaling, connecting earth. And now think of it like a double helix, just running through us as we breathe. We're inhaling up, there's always a movement up, always a movement down. We're running heaven and earth through us. Nice. Let's do the two-step, left foot forward. Ready, and 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's keep turning. And as we turn, imagine energy flowing out through our fingertips. Concentrate on the space behind us and around us. Imagine the space is like a breeze filled with ki, Aiki spirit, and it moves us effortlessly. And then go back to that feeling of heaven and earth. Extend all the way up out the top of your head to the sky and all the way down through your feet to the core of the earth. Let it run through us. Fingertips full of light. A little shinier, a little brighter. Flowing out through the walls with your hands. And let's turn and stay. Nice balanced stance, relaxed shoulders, lots of energy flowing through the fingertips. Okay, before we go on to some more key exercises, I'm going to read a little, as I did the last couple of weeks, Sensei quote. Do not look upon the world with fear and loathing. Bravely face whatever the gods offer. One who is well prepared for anything that arises will never rashly draw his sword in haste. Progress comes to those who train and train. Reliance on secret techniques will get you nowhere. Practice harmonizing the active and passive spirits and advance ever onwards, pouring out energy and vigor. When you harmonize with the emptiness of the pure void, you will know the true path of Aiki. When you harmonize with the emptiness of the pure void, you will know the true path of Aiki. So let's just take a moment and we'll do a few more key exercises. And as we do it, we'll use that last phrase about harmonizing with the pure void. So let's clasp our hands, put them over our hara. And let's begin to shake. And as you shake, keep your concentration in your hara point. Let your whole body begin to tremble with this. And imagine that your hara point is the true void. And you're trembling in the emptiness. Vibrating energy. That's what atoms are. And within that, there's a void. Help to vibrate the energy in your hara and let it move through your whole body. You can take long exhales into your hara point. Keep your concentration there. Imagine the true void could be like the night sky, extending forever inside of you. Okay, stop. And then I'm going to show from the side in case there are people who are not used to this. Instead of the rowing this way, we're going to do this rowing. So we come up and we make that sword quality extending out through the sword blade of our wrists, and we draw it back to our hara and extending up and draw it back. And as we extend up, it's as if we're reaching out, taking ki, bringing it into us. So the ki flows out and it comes in. Flows out and comes in as we row. See if you can have a feeling of your wrists extending through the far wall. Your sword blade moves through the far wall. Now imagine that the energy is coming from behind you like a breeze, and it's pushing your hands up, and then you gather it in, pushing your hands out, gather it back. See if you can let that energy be stronger as it flows through you, extending, gathering it back. Feel yourself as porous. All that life force is flowing through you. You're part of a much bigger Aiki spirit. And let's hold, bring it in. And let's do this one more time. We'll clasp our hands together and we'll shake. Focusing into your hara point. Imagine it's the pure void inside of you, and that pure void is infinite, and it's trembling. You can take long, slow exhales toward that pure void. The inhale can be gathered from the void up into you, exhaling down into it. Keep your concentration in the center of your abdomen. Imagine it's a pure void. It could be like the night sky. Vibrating energy. Okay, and hold. Take a moment and breathe into that. Let's do the rowing one more time. This one time we're going to do the rowing that extends out this way. Most of you know that. Start with your hips and reach out and pull it in like you're rowing. And as you extend out, let it flow through you, through your arms, through the walls if you can, and then bring it back to you. Extending out, taking the ki, bringing it back. Imagine there's a wind at your back. It's helping you extend your arms. Aiki spirit flowing through us, gathering it, sending it out. Keep your concentration on the sense of ki flowing through you, flowing out, being gathered in. And hold. All right, so let's just take a moment and stand with our arms a little bit open and extended. And just notice the feeling of life force, aliveness in your hands and in your fingers. All right, so last time we worked a little bit with the Ikkyo, and this time I'd like to work with Kokyu. Some of you who know my classes, one of the first things that I'll do is that Kokyu technique. So if I'm putting my right hand out on my right foot, and as I draw my partner toward me, my hand spirals, touches the front of me, palm up, pivoting on my heels. I'm coming up my center, both hands, step with my right foot, and extend out in that beautiful Kokyu movement. The statue at Tanabe in Japan, where O-sensei is standing like this. He's just that way, just that sense of life coming through him. And then we'll go left foot forward, hand out, palm down, and then as we draw that imaginary partner of the energy to us, the palm turns up, and when it touches us, it's up. And then we're going to pivot around, bring both hands up, step with the left foot, and extend. And just stay there for a moment. Great, let's do it again, starting with the right. Starting with the palm down, nice uplifted posture, open heart. A sense of really connecting to a much bigger flow. As you draw the energy into you, your hand spirals and the palm turns up when it touches you and you're pivoting around, hands coming up, both of them, the center, step and extend and stand that way and really flow the ki out. Hope you can see. Good. And let's change, we'll do the left side, starting with our palm down, turning the hand, palm up when it touches you, pivoting around, pivoting, hands coming up, step, and extend. So let's do it a couple more times now without breaking it up so much, not too fast. But some of you, many of you have done this in a technique. Here comes the imaginary partner, touch up as you turn, and then unfold like a flower. On the left side, here comes the partner, turns up as you touch, pivot around, hands come up, unfold like a flower. Again, draw your partner into you, pivot, comes up your center, light step, unfold. And one more time, turning your palm up, pivoting, hands coming up, step and extend. Nice. Now, let's look at the ukemi side. So we're going to do the same thing. Let's just imagine that I'm reaching for my partner. And as I reach for my partner and I move a couple of steps toward them, they take me into them. And when they do that, I feel that somehow I soften. I don't charge. So I'm coming into them and my knees are going to bend a little bit. And as I come around the corner, I'm going to use my right hand, my open hand, and it's going to be to keep the balance as I come around the corner to come up, and this would be the fall. So the important part of this ukemi, as I'm coming, is not to lean over this way. That's what I want to train myself to do. But instead, as I'm moving, to stay upright, and I'm going to lean in a little bit, and then this hand is going to help me balance. So I go to grab my partner, I'm coming around, and there's a tilt that happens. I'm tilting toward my partner, but this hand is keeping the balance as it stays out. Comes around, and that would be the fall. So let's do that a couple more times. Just get that feeling of what it's like to give your body. When you're taken in, your body's going to tilt back a little bit. That left hand extends out. As it comes around, it's going to help you take the fall. So the thing that we want to avoid, and why we want to practice this, is sometimes when we come in, we lean over like this, we bend, we don't keep that nice posture and give our body. And sometimes this hand, if the grabbing hand is my left hand, the right hand is sort of dead. So instead, the right hand really wants to be like flaps on an airplane, extending out, hoping to keep that balance. As I'm leaning in this way, I'm extending out with that hand. So let's try that a couple more times on the ukemi. I imagine I'm walking toward my partner, they take me in, I start to lean, my hand extends out as I'm grabbing, and then they take me up into the fall. And one more time on the other side. Here I go, I'm going in to grab my partner, they take me in, I don't lean forward, instead I almost lean back a little bit, I lean toward them. My other hand is extending out to keep the balance. Then they bring me up, 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 and over the falls for the fall. So I think that's something we could think about when we practice with the iriminage ukemi. It would be the same. If I'm striking iriminage and they take me around, I want to lean in so I'm close to my partner, but I want, if I'm attacking with my right hand, I want my left hand to really extend and help me balance that. And it's the same for this kokyu throw. So that's just a little ukemi tip that I've been working on for that kokyu throw that might help a little bit. Okay, for those of you who have a bokken handy, let's grab a bokken. For those of you who don't, you can simply use your arms. You could also use an umbrella if you've got an umbrella, or any stick that you have available. So I'm going to wait a few seconds for those of you who are gathering your bokken. Okay, and if you don't have a bokken, you can use your arms. It's just perfect. I'll show you that as well. So let's bow our bokkens in. Good. Those of you who know how to do this, put them on the side, and then we can take our bokkens out. So we're going to do a little 4 directions. We're not going to do the complicated footwork. We're going to do the 4 directions that I teach in the leadership embodiment. So in the first one, we're just going to make the cut. 1, left elbow up, pull it over your head, pivot underneath. 2, right elbow up, pull it over your head, right foot step. 3, left elbow up, pull it over your head, pivot underneath. 4, right elbow up, pull it over your head, right foot step again. 5, left elbow up, pull it over your head, and cut. 6, then you'll be back to your starting place. So in this particular version, the footwork that I'm doing is I make the cut if my right foot's forward, then I pivot. Then I step perpendicular with the left foot, and then I pivot. Then I step perpendicular with the with the right foot again, and I pivot, and that's it. So basically what it is it's a cut, pivot, step with the right foot, pivot, step with the right foot, pivot. So that's the footwork for this one, because there's another version, but it's very complicated. So let's take our bokkens out. We'll do it one more time, and then we'll add an intention. Okay, so we make our first cut. As we cut, send the energy out. Left elbow up, pull it over our head, pivot underneath, cut. Right elbow up, pull it over our head, right foot step, cut. Left elbow up, pull it over our head, pivot and cut. Right elbow up, pull it over our head, right foot step, cut. Left elbow up, pull it over our head, and cut. So that's it's 4 directions, but it's 6 cuts to bring us back to where we started. So now I'm going to just count 6, and then we'll talk about how we can really put some positive energy out, connected with an intention. So we're harmonizing our mind and body. So taking our bokkens out again. See if you can have a sense when you do this that you're running heaven and earth through you. Have a sense that you do this, that there's a wind at your back and the energy is flowing through you and sending it out into the world. Okay, ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, kiai. Aye! You guys don't hit each other. Let's do that one more time. In the last cut, on the 6th cut, there's a big kiai. We want to energize ourselves. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kiai. Aye! Very nice. Okay, so let's put our bokkens to the side for a moment, and let's just take a moment. And we did this last week a little bit. Let's see if we can come up with an intention, something that we would really like to manifest. Could be something we're manifesting during this time, something in the world, so that when we're doing this activity with a bokken, or we even might be doing it with our arms. So arms could be the same, could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aye, with a kiai, if you don't have a bokken. So come up with a phrase, something that you would like to energize and bring positive energy to. So let's just do that for a moment. Take a few seconds to think about what you want to say. I'm going to invite you to say it out loud. I know in Aikido class we often don't, but O-sensei in the quote I read last week talked about harmonizing mind and body. So we're going to bring our thought and the words into our intention. So my practice, what I'm going to say is, I wish to bring more courage and confidence to people in the world. Right? So that's a positive intention that I want to put out in the world, and I want to energize that with my bokken. So now I am going to pick up my bokken because I have one. If those of you who don't have a bokken, you can use your arms. Taking my bokken out, taking a moment and having a sense that I'm connected to the sky, I'm connected to the earth. I'm inviting Aiki spirit to come through me to help me with this. Oh, I got O Sensei at my back, Dalai Lama also, and Nelson Mandela are back there. And I'm inviting their wisdom, their courage, and their confidence. So I'm going to invite you to say out loud your intention, and then we're going to do the 4 directions, the 6 cuts to energize the intention with a big ki at the end. So when you're ready, say your intention. I wish to bring courage and confidence to people in the world. All right, let's start. 1, cut. 2, 3, 4, 5. Big ki on 6. Aye! Nice. Change feet. So your right foot is forward again. So let's do the same thing. We're going to bring it up 5% more. 5% more bright, shiny, 5% more flow coming through you. Remember, you're not making it happen. You're inviting it to come through you. You're part of a larger flow, the Aiki spirit family community. So say our intention again. I wish to invite courage and confidence to people so I can help them in the world. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Big ki. Aye! Nice. Okay, let's do it one more time because 3s are great. And we can get just a little shinier, a little brighter as we do it. Okay, a little more energy, invite a little more to come through you. Feel yourself as porous. Ready, and. I wish to empower people with courage and confidence to deal with the stressors of this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ki. Aye! Beautiful. Change feet. Now, instead of putting our bokkens away, let's just work with a straight cut. We're going to do this straight cut, and we're going to do this process that we do often in leadership embodiment, which is we're going to say our intention, make the cut. Say the intention, make the cut. Say it one more time, make 2 cuts, and on the third one, a big ki. So these are just standing straight cuts. Try to really send the energy out. Imagine the energy is going out into the world, and imagine it's coming through you. Remember, you don't do it. You're a conduit for it, for something bigger than you. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll say our intention out loud. I wish to bring courage and compassion to people who are facing these challenging times. And cut. Boom. Say your intention out loud again. I wish to bring courage and compassion to people who are facing these troubled times. Ready? When you're ready, make the cut. Third time, I wish to bring courage and compassion to people during these troubled times. Cut once. Cut again. Last one, big ki. Hey! Let's stand in it for a moment. Just feel all that energy flowing through you. Nice. So let's put our bokkens to the side for the moment. And just want to remind you, those of you who don't have a bokken or an umbrella handy at home, if you want to do those cuts, using your arms really will work as well, as long as you have a sense that you're really putting the energy out. And that's what we want to work with a lot, is how to put that energy out through us. Okay, so let's work a little bit with that, and then I'll take some questions because that's part of what I usually do in Aikido class, is actually make suggestions and take questions. But as we do this, let's just do some gathering, extending up and out. And just make these circles. Drawing in, inhale and exhale. Gather into us. Reach up to the sky. Extend out. Gather into us. Reach up to the sky and extend out. Keep going. As you gather into you, reaching up, reaching out, expanding yourself, connecting to Aiki spirit. It's over this entire world. There's Aiki spirit everywhere. Life force, vibrating atoms. A few more. And remember, as you do this, the last line of the O-sensei quote, when you harmonize the emptiness of the pure void, you will know the true path of Aiki. So as we do this, see if you can have a sense that you're harmonizing with the true void. You extend out into the void, you gather the void into you. The void is pure ki, pure energy, pure life, nothing solid. Connect to it, reach out to it, draw it into you. Again, connect to it, reach out, draw it into you. A couple more times. Just have a sense that you're connecting to something way beyond your physical skin. That you can connect to this power. And it gives you amazing capacity to face difficulties. It gives you courage, wisdom. Let you be bright and shiny. Okay, let's stop for a moment. And now I think Greg is hosting, and some of you do know that my habit in Aikido class is to stop and ask people if they have any reflections on the training, how it might be pertinent to their lives, or any questions. So I'd like, if Greg, if you have a question, and you can unmute yourself, or Greg can unmute us so people can speak up, I'm very open to that. I'll move forward a little bit. Any insights or questions? Hi, Dave. Anybody? It's fine if you don't have an insight or a question or a thought. I'm fine with that. I just like to leave space for that in case people will reflect on their lives.
I think, like I talked about last time, for me, just the constant reminder to connect with something, and I love the way you put it today, was outside your physical body. It's just, I need it like every 5 minutes. Well, every 3, let's be honest.
Okay, I'm good with every 3. Yeah.
Hello.
If we touch into that, it can really help us feel less isolated, for sure.
Yeah.
Dave, do you have a question?
Me?
Yes, you look like you
No,
were ready.
I didn't have a question.
Okay.
Hi, Peter.
Well, I don't have anything to say.
I'd like to say something. This is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hey, I had super strong energy from early this morning, and there was a point where I noticed I was starting to tighten up because there was so much energy moving through me. And then it reminds me of when you were talking about just, we don't do it. And I could relax into just feeling this beautiful energy that was moving through me and open to it more, instead of like, you know, I need to control this or something. This is getting to be so much. And then when I opened, it just got even more yummy.
Oh, I'm very happy to hear you say that, because I mean, that's one of the things that has allowed me to be able to do Aikido in a way that when I first started, I wouldn't have thought I could do it. And it's because I feel like I'm not doing it. I take the attitude, it comes through me.
Yes.
And then when that's happening, it doesn't matter if my partner is bigger or stronger or younger at all, because when it's coming through me, we're all connected to the same vibrating energy. And it's just a matter of organizing it.
Yes.
So if I can remember that, then it keeps me from feeling that I'm too much or it's too much or I can't do it. It takes the I out of it, puts me in a more universal sense.
Yes.
I'm very happy you had that experience.
And with that, there was like, oh, this is Aikido, right? I felt my practice just coming in right then when I was starting to tighten, and then there it was for me.
Yeah.
So there was so much gratitude for these practices to help me make that shift in the moment of, ah.
That's right. So anytime during the day, we could have seen a bit of news or heard something, or something could have happened that was annoying or frustrating or concerning. I think it's really important at that point that we really extend. That's when we use our extensors. That's when we need to open up. Because when we do that, because of our training, we're going to have a tendency to flow more energy. And when we flow more energy, there's going to be a much greater capacity for things to reorganize themselves. Then if we tighten and close, the energy can't organize itself. It can't come back into balance because we get overwhelmed. So having a way to extend our arms out, I like this one to lighten up, bring the energy up rather than ground. When I put the energy down, I feel pressure in my joints. When I bring energy up, I feel lighter. And that whole idea of inviting O-sensei or whatever teachers I have to be part of this, rather than seeing myself as a separate, isolated individual person.
Thank you so much.
Mhm. And I have something too, David Kipe here. I appreciate and I find I'm really valuing that invitation to open to something bigger. That's something I try and practice in my life anyway, but there's something about sheltering in place, this kind of sheltering in,
Yes,
that has me compressing my energy more.
exactly.
So just being in practices that are about opening and extending is really helpful. And then I learned something too about my learning process today. And that is how when I'm in the room with you, I attune to your movements. There's a way in which I kind of get in the Wendy flow. and I can't do that in the same way over Zoom. We're not in the same physical space.
Yes.
And there's something about being in the same physical space where I can get that thing going.
Absolutely.
And
And therefore, we have to have a better concentration.
Yeah.
We have to up our concentration. That's what I've discovered. It's like whether I'm imagining I'm doing the Kokyu technique here, my concentration has to be better because I have to be able to keep all of that form and the feeling without using the feedback from another person. So, that's why these kind of exercises are good. Meditation is good. And I'll tell you, just holding a bokken for me, all right, that helps me because of the nature of the tool.
mm-hmm.
It helps me focus because to make a decent cut, it's like a calligraphy, making that bone drawing. It's a consistent practice, whole life practice, right? It's not like, oh, I can easily make that Shomen cut. I can, but I can't perfect it, right? So when I hold the bokken and I really work on making that cut and making it clear, that's another tool that I can use. And I have been holding my bokken more frequently at home because it does bring my energy into a container and a focus and help me stay more connected to my intention and be less drawn away. So if you don't have a bokken at home, as I said, you can use any kind of a tool, the mop of a broom, an umbrella. It's nice to have something because then your body knows it has to manage this distance. And it will organize itself that way instead of just getting random. So I really just encourage you to take it as an opportunity to see if you can build your concentration a little bit more, so that when you are teaching, that's one of the things you can highlight to people, is that you're on your own now in terms of you're in the room by yourself or with one other person. So it's going to be a time to have a better level of focus.
I'd like to comment on the benefit of the weapon, that it's been a challenge for me. I have double vision, and having two swords coming at me has been challenging for me. But I also really value the relationship aspect of Aikido. And so I'm welcoming the staff, I'm liking the staff especially, as a relationship practice.
Yes.
And so I'm really feeling how this is a living being here that I'm connecting with. And, you know, I have the picture of O-sensei with his eyes closed, and he's just like, whoa. And so the limitation of not being able to train in my usual ways is helping me appreciate and be with the staff in a whole new way.
That's wonderful. Whatever we can use to help ourselves right now, be focused and stay present with our intentions. And I'll say it again, in Aikido, we often don't speak about verbal intentions. This would be a time to start joining mind and body. And so to have an intention and to say it out loud, and then to say it in conjunction with holding a tool, will bring much more focus and much more energy to that intention, because it's easy to get distracted by concerning issues these days. So thank you, Michelle.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Wendy, I'm reminded each day of you speaking about the Dalai Lama and how he brings such lightness, you know, into being in really tough situations and that kind of thing. And I feel that responsibility because of my privilege of having such great teachers in my life, like yourself, George Leonard, Richard, and many others that have come into my life. And I've had all this like privilege of being able to work on myself and train, that I need to show up with that, sort of bringing that lightness. And it's so energetic to see. So like yesterday I was in the rain at Home Depot in line, and there's a lot of people in line. And so to bring some lightness to the people in line about all the stuff that's going on right now, and you know, getting people to smile just even a little bit, and you know, and chit chat, even though we're 6 feet away from each other wearing masks and everything. You know, it's such a great feeling of gratitude to be able to do that.
Absolutely. We are very privileged. Thank you, Greg. And you're absolutely right. And the more we can contribute, I mean, Aiki spirit is about joy and shininess and brightness and life and energy and inclusion. And so the more that we can do the practices that wake our body up to that. And then I think it's important to join with our mental intention and speak out loud too, because then we are really harmonizing mind and body. So I encourage us to continue to do those gestures, even if it's for a few seconds, to just extend out. And then don't forget, you can lighten up by pushing down on top of your head and popping your hand up. That brings your energy up. And then having an open heart and having strong hips, that feeling of when we do this exercise, we're really moving from our hips. The hips generate the movement. We can feel that power. So those little exercises can be done just for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And it's important that we change the baseline from, David had said, that sense of tightness and concern, to a sense of openness and positivity and running the joy of Aiki spirit through us. All right, well, let's close with a little bit of a little more movement so that we can get back into that. And so let's go back to just what I was pointing to for a moment. We'll start with this. And Terry Dabson Sensei years ago was very clear about this exercise. He had a big thing around it, that it wasn't moving the arms, that it was moving the hips, and then the arms go. And the way he would do it is he'd pop his hips and then his arms would follow. So let's just start with that for a few seconds before we go into the more flowy ones. So turn your hips and then feel how that generates a kind of a power coming through your arms. So be sure that the movement is originating as you turn your hara point in your hips. Nice. And then as you do that, then you can just start to let it flow a little bit more. And I'm going to stop us because another thing that he pointed out that was interesting, he said, try to keep your shoulders straight ahead and your head straight ahead. So if you watch me for a minute, when I do this, I'm getting a lot of movement in my upper body. And when I do this, it's really clear that it's generating from my hips and I'm not turning my shoulders that way. So let's try that. Again, this came through Terry, who spent a bunch of time with O-sensei, so he definitely had some transmission. Bending our knees, going into our hara point, turning our hips, keeping our heads straight ahead, our shoulders straight ahead, yeah. So we really feel the power flowing out through our arms. It's generated from the earth, from the sky, through our hips, through our arms. Fingertips extending. Smiling, get that smile going. Remember, O-sensei said, always practice with a mind of joy. Keeping that joy of, we can let life force flow through us. Few more. Yeah. When I first started, I used to do 500 of these. Then I couldn't count anymore, so I just did it for 15 minutes. But it makes a big difference if you do it for a long time. Something starts to change in the body. Keeping that smile, keeping that movement. It's like a homeopathic movement in the hips, and then it flows out through the arms and fingertips. Few more. All right, let's bring that to a close and just stand in it. And see if you stand in it, if you can really sense the life force. Maybe the key is tingling, flowing. Imagine it's like light. Where is it touching the floor? Extending up through the top of your heads. As you exhale, flowing down into the earth. Imagine that your breath is like a double helix. As you inhale, the spiral flows up toward the sky. As you exhale, it flows down to the earth. You're joining heaven and earth with your breath. Couple more. Nice. Let's do the two-step again. So let's go left foot forward and 1, 2. And the same as you turn here, really try to sense how the movement in your hips and legs flows out through your arms and fingertips. Let yourself think up out the top of your head toward the sky. As you exhale down into the earth. See if you can run heaven and earth through you as you turn. It's already there. You just need to open to heaven and earth running through you. And again, imagine there's a breeze at your back. Aiki Spirit, all your teachers, mentors, fellow students, they're the breeze at your back. We can all support each other if we stay energized, open, shiny, bright. Let ourselves get a little lighter and a little brighter. Couple more. And let's turn and stay and hold. And as we did last week, let's end with an imaginary kokyu ho. So we're holding our hands out. Imagine your partner is going to hold your wrists. You make that little kokyu movement. Up, light, and then that nice kokyu throw. And then come back to center again. Once again, your partner holds your wrists, make your kokyu movement, up, 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 and a nice cut for the throw. Again, receiving the grab, kokyu movement in the wrists, up, 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 nice cut for the throw. Last time, receiving the grasp, up, 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 nice cut for the throw. And then, you know, people are always doing the nage part, but at the uke part, You're only as good as your uke. You could take the best Aikidoists in the world and give them a terrible beginner uke and they wouldn't look good. And you could take somebody who wasn't very good and give them the most fabulous uke and they would look like a 7th dan. So let's work on the ukemi side too. Let's imagine as we hold with the wrists, our shoulders are soft. We're giving a little bit from our belly and we make a nice hold, but not too tight. And then as our partner does the kokyu movement, it picks up our shoulders. We remember the feeling of being picked up, made light, and then we're going to take the fall. And then let's practice holding again. As you hold, be sure you're bringing some hips into it as you go to hold. Not too tight, but making a nice connection. Your shoulders are down. You're giving some energy from your body. And then your nage is going to make the kokyu movement that's going to pick your shoulders up. You're going to feel yourself get light, go on your toes, and turn for the fall. And let's do it 2 more times. So as I come to make the grab, I reach out. My body's engaged, the front of my body. I hold nicely. I feel myself giving energy through my whole body. Then my nage does the kokyu movement. It pops my shoulders up. I feel myself go up on my toes. And I'm going to turn and take the fall. And then the last time we practice our ukemi. So get yourself ready to give the ukemi. You're going to give your body the whole thing here. So as you reach out, you lean into it just a little bit with your torso without leaning forward. You make a nice connection as you hold. Then your partner makes the kokyu movement with their hands. It pops your shoulders up. It brings you up on your toes. It's light. Then they go to make the cut. You turn and take the fall. So don't forget the importance of thinking about your ukemi, thinking about what it is to give the body. The uke is really what generates the whole situation. It's the fine art of pursuit. It's how do we give ourselves? So whether we're thinking of striking for an ikkyo and coming around and iri nage, whether we're giving ourselves, let's consider not just the nage side, but let's also consider the uke side. Since we can't practice in person, we can consider it, we can think about it. It's, I think, a little more challenging, and people don't pay as much attention to it as they do nage. But again, uke is really, without uke, you can't do the kind of Aikido that looks so wonderful. It takes a decent uke to do that. So I invite you to consider what that means. All right, so let's just take a moment and center ourselves before we bow out. And as we do this, having a sense of appreciation and sending good energy out beyond our walls, out into the world, and having a sense of appreciating our friends and training partners, our teachers, our mentors, all the people in our lives that have made it possible for us to train Aikido. And then let's send some energy out to the people who are struggling and suffering. We've just developed some good ki. We've got some noble, awesome shininess. Let's radiate it out. And now let's take a moment to appreciate O Sensei's vision and invite his spirit to come and empower us so that we can be more noble, more awesome, and more shiny. All right, so I'm going to turn and face O Sensei here. Domo arigatou gozaimashita. So thank you, Greg, for hosting. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate everybody's coming out for this, and know that I'm thinking about you, sending good energy to you, and that we're supporting each other. And if any of you need anything, feel free to email. If you don't know my email, you can go through Aikido Tamil Pius and Dalai and send it. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Greg, for hosting with all of your busy schedule. All of you for tuning in.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sensei.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, Sensei.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thanks,
you.
Greg.
Sending good energy out to everyone. Okay, people, have a wonderful rest of your evening. Hi, Joe.